There is good and evil in this world,
Yeah.
and I know you've seen it. I know some people have different answers for where that comes from.
We lost Grizz Martin, who was on our team. He was driving our vehicle, our Humvee. We had up-armored with plywood and sandbags, and an RPG went right through the wheel well where we couldn't armor, the rear one, and hit him.
And I remember taking a deep breath, and it was by no means bravery on my part. It was more of a, okay, we're gonna blow up now, and I'm tired of thinking about it. Let's fucking get over with. So I get him squeezed, and he goes up, and he moves the curtain, and there are 3 people standing there. He didn't have even enough time. He just jumped on them.
Running and gunning. I was out of ammo again. I remember people were dropping mags and reloading their mags, and I'd pick up a mag off the ground and knock the dirt out of it and stick it in. I had 3 rounds, in there, and I'd grab another mag.
It's like, take cover. And I was like, if Mike's telling me that, I can hear it in his voice, this is serious. And they just start popping these mortar rounds up in the air. And I'll tell you, Shawn, I don't think I've ever been as scared in my life, because it is like the movies, man. You can hear those things whistling through the air.
Then another RPG, and I remember looking up and seeing it hit the helicopter, tail of the helicopter.
You saw it hit?
Yeah, and it just started auto-rotating. I'm like, oh man. And it crashed a little bit northeast of us. Where's it at? Guide me to it. Get the convoy to go to it. The mission had just changed. Man, we got to get to that helo. And every intersection, just a hell of a just kind of wait and go. And I remember going past one. There weren't people at it, and I was kind of watching around the corner, waiting for other people to cross. This donkey comes walking across the street, standing there like he's just chilling. And then we start taking fire, and I realized they're shooting from behind the donkey. You start seeing feet behind the donkey. You got to drop the donkey to drop the dudes. I remember shooting the donkey, and it took off. And then those dudes are standing there with their guns in their hands, like, uh-oh. The donkey's kind of like, man, they'll do anything to get at us.
So I'm up on this wall, and my vantage point is I can see through the door, and it's light inside, dark outside. There's maybe a couple like dimmer lights on the outside, the exterior of the building, and I could see in there, and a guy stops like right where my vision is. So I got can't even use my dot because it's light in there. So I'm going to red dot on him with my doubler, and I'm just on him so I can see him. But I couldn't tell what he had. He had something on his waist, but I couldn't tell. And I saw kids, like pretty much when I could tell someone was around the way, I see kids come in. I think like 2 or 3. And he like brings them in, and he clacks himself off.
About that time, bullets come. I'm here, Phil and Bashir over there. The 2 Somalis are a little bit further to his left, and then the gun team is beyond them. And then Brady's on my right, and then the wounded gun team on his right. Rounds come cracking right across the front of me, the cover I'm standing at, like skip off the rock right in front of me. And Brady and I both look left at the same time, and dudes are maneuvering up the ridge line. There's 4 or 5 guys that are coming up the ridge. Bashir is like just standing out in the open, gets shot 3 times. It's kind of whack-a-mole. Brady and I ended up shooting rounds between a bunch of rocks and just ricocheting a bunch of rounds into the dudes, and they would peel out to one side or the other, and we kind of dealt with it.
But you could see Tig coming across, and the guy would hide behind the wall, load another RPG, step back out and fire another one, and it went over. Then he stepped back, loaded a 3rd one, and as he come out and fired, Tig came up. You could see Tig start to shoot. Tig put about 8 rounds down there to him, and you could see the rounds. You could see the RPG had already launched, and you could see them coming like this. The tracer fire going past it as it's starting to come to Tig. Kills that guy, and this is where I tell people, because we had I call it the 7th man. We had a 7th man on that team, and that was Christ above, because this RPG is coming like this, literally takes a 90-degree turn and goes off into the nowhere. And
Are you kidding me?
No. It's impossible.
So I'm now facing, the way I'm looking, like the tower's kind of to the left, the canal's like right here, and then the neighborhood's right here. And we started taking shots from the neighborhood almost immediately after the blast. Come to find out, I had gotten hit with 100 to 150 ball bearings. I was like, well, I don't want to get shot, I can't fire back. And I just knew the hole in the fence was behind me. And I tried my fucking hardest to crawl backwards towards that hole in the fence. Why is my right arm not working? And I remember lifting it up, seeing it, it's there, but it's just shredded up at the elbow. I couldn't move anymore. And all I could do is kind of lift my head up. I took ball bearings into my chest, right around the cut of my plate carrier, into my abdomen, all over my stomach. I mean, I had practically, from what I've been told, just jumping ball bearings out of my intestines. And they were burning so fast that ball bearings burned through my radius. Perfect hole through my radius. Didn't even break it. That's how fast they were going.
If you work your tail off, and you're willing to take ownership and you're willing to sacrifice, you can do something great.